Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. As always, please make sure you are hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel for daily notifications of my 1-hour plant shopping videos. I know that I took the weekend off, so I missed you plant foldies, and for those that are new, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. What did you guys think of the solar eclipse today in North Dallas? It was amazing, and I'm curious to see what you guys thought of it. But right now we are walking over here and looking at these mandevilla flowers. Most of the Lowe's that I've been visiting have all of these tropical planters with mandevilla flowers mixed in with a couple of other tropical plants. It is spring, so we will be seeing more plants, and if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribing to my channel, just because I will be very diligent about getting some plant content for you daily, at least 1 hour. So we're going to see what we have here. Most Lowe's, when you walk in, at least in North Dallas, you'll have a little setup at the very beginning of the entrance. And right here, we've got a trending tropical Aglaonema. This one is for $19.98 by Costa Farms. We also have another Aglaonema right over here. This is a pink Siam Aglaonema. These were a little bit more abundant earlier this year, so I'm glad that they are coming back. I love the Aglaonemas with the margins or the borders around their leaves. Very easy to care for plant. One of my favorite plants to grow. I have quite a bit of them in my collection. And then right over here, we've got a highly variegated philodendron Birkin. This one is in a self-watering planter for $15.98 by Costa Farms. Again, this one has some pretty good variegation. There's some philodendron Birkin that are a little bit more green, but you can see the newest leaf is white. Really love that a lot. And with philodendron Birkin, they were a little bit more uncommon about 3 to 4 years ago. Now I would consider them a common philodendron. And we've got some more plants right over here. I'm just going to pan out and show you what else they've got here. And we've got a combination of Costa Farms plants. This one is for $17.98. So we've got a red Anfitonia, Epipremnum aureum, marble, and a palm right over here. So they've all got different lighting conditions and care conditions. So I'm not really sure what the motive is in terms of just these mixed planters. Like we've got a waffle plant here. We've got a croton here, and I believe a palm. So the croton and palm definitely need high, direct, bright light. And then the snow white waffle plant definitely needs to be in darker, lighter, lighting conditions. Otherwise, it's going to crisp up. So these are gorgeous arrangements. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure if I would be able to grow these plants long term. I'm also not a big fan of the moss or the top dressing of these combination containers. Plant foldies, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I know that there's always a lot of chatter on the live premiere chats, and as always, really appreciate you plant foldies for always tuning into my live premieres. And if you haven't made a live premiere and you're watching this live, say hello. We are a friendly bunch, and we always welcome new people to the chat. And over here, we've got a Calathea. Not sure what the Calathea plant ID is for this one. There's so many different types of Calatheas, but this one is for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. I have been growing all of my Calatheas now in hydroponics or just straight water alongside with my anthuriums. I've realized that they are a lot easier to take care of because I don't have to worry about having to water them often. I'm the type of person who doesn't really water a lot of their plants. I'm more of an underwaterer, and I think that's due to my very, very busy schedule. And you can see that over the weekend I decided to take a little bit of time off for myself. Making these plant videos, it does take quite a bit of time. The travel time to get to a big box store, the time to film, the time to edit, the time to do voiceover, and then the time to upload. It's quite a bit of a task, but I truly enjoy it. I just wanted to take a little bit of a weekend off, but I'm now back at it. I will be filming more content this week, so don't worry. I will have those daily plant videos. For those that have been supporting me lately and since the start of my YouTube, thank you so much for that. Just make sure you guys are hitting that like button if you're watching this video already. And you can see here we've got some classic Monstera Deliciosas, and we've got a peace lily. Love those plants, easy to care for plants. I'm actually surprised I don't really have a large form of Monstera Deliciosa anymore. I have one that I propagated that I need to repot maybe tomorrow or sometime today, so we'll see. And then over here we are looking at some majesty palms here. You know, we never get rid of majesty palms. Majesty palms are pretty much everywhere you go. It could be at a big box store, a grocery store, or even a local plant nursery. You'll see majesty palms. I don't really have the space to grow a palm in my home, so I really steer away from them, but they are a beautiful plant. Another beautiful plant would be that Dracaena marginata, and as always, we have some gorgeous Monstera deliciosas. You know, for all of my local plant shopping that I do on a daily basis, I'm surprised I haven't found a sport variegated Monstera. Fingers crossed I will find one soon. And over here we've got an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, $15.98. Again, you know, with golden pothos, they vary in their variegation, but what I will say that is consistent is they are the most easiest plant to grow indoors. It's a really good beginner house plant, and I do want to walk over here and show you this. So I have been eyeing this eggshell seat for quite a bit, this egg seat for a while. I think that would be really nice in my back patio. I do need some patio furniture so I can sit and just, you know, relax and look at my Japanese maples that I'm growing outside. I recently bought a chimenea, so that's fun to kind of just burn some wood and you know, admire the, I guess, the night sounds, and, you know, have some fire over there as well. This is a really nice setup for a patio, and I'm going to walk over here and just pan over all of these indoor tropical plants, okay? So as you can see, this Lowe's always is super full, super organized, has a lot of healthy plants to look at, and I'm glad that they did get a restock. I can tell that they've gotten a restock at this location, so super excited about that. And it says Real Plants, Real Smiles by Live Trends. So they have another planter series. This is super cute. This has got some air plants here. So they've got some bee planters. I like that a lot. It's actually super cute. And we've got some kalanchoe right here, some orange bloom kalanchoe. Really like kalanchoes as well. They're very common succulent. This one is the more flora bloom kalanchoe. You'll see a lot of kalanchoe actually at grocery stores, which is another place I like to do my plant shopping. You'd be surprised about how many inexpensive plants you would find at a grocery store, as well as Lowe's. So Lowe's is also one of my go-to places when you go big box store plant shopping. You will find an array of different types of tropical plants, indoor plants, outdoor gardening. They've got it all. And this is one of my favorite Lowe's to go to in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at. So, you know, it's one of those places where when you live near so many Lowe's, you have so many locations. So I'm very fortunate to have that available for me. And you can see right here, all of these Phalaenopsis orchids. I love that Costa Farms has them readily available. And you can see that one's a nice planter. This one is in bloom right here. Now, if you're asking me about Phalaenopsis orchids, they are quite easy to take care of. They need bright indirect light. They will say that they can tolerate lower light conditions, but if you give them bright indirect light, they will do better in terms of holding on to their blooms. You know, their blooms will last for about a month or two, depending on your care tips. Now, as far as watering for a Phalaenopsis orchid, you want to water them maybe every 3 weeks. Make sure that their roots are completely dry, and you'll be able to tell that because their roots will be a silvery tone. And I like this. These are Cocodama, so they're using coconut husk for the planter. I like that a lot because then you're not using plastic. These are the bromeliads. Kokedama is a Japanese way of growing plants on like a moss ball. So I really like that. And then we've got some more Phalaenopsis orchids here. I like Phalaenopsis orchids because they have different types of colors and different types of patterns. They've got simple ones where it's just completely white. They've got ones with polka dots. They've got ones with like very nice gradation on the flowers, different sizes as well. My family is from the Philippines, and Phalaenopsis orchids are so easy to grow outdoors. They basically are endemic to the Philippines as well. You can just prop them up on a tree and they will grow. You don't even need to put them in any type of substrate. Now, I will say for Phalaenopsis orchids, you want to put them in orchid bark. You definitely don't ever want to put them in soil because their roots do not want to be suffocated. They like to be in very airy mixtures, and orchid bark is the best. But you can see here, look at that gorgeous looking white Phalaenopsis orchid. Foliage, you can see that this one has a combination platter of Phalaenopsis orchids with other different types of plants. And then this one right here is one that I like, because look at the polka dots and the speckling on those Phalaenopsis orchids. Now, if you're gonna buy one, I would buy that one just because it hasn't had all of its blooms open up. So you have a little bit longer for the blooms to stay. And I think this is super cool. I love Sansevieria Moonshine, and I love the fact that Costa Farms has these available. These again are for $15.98 in self-watering planters. The only critique I would have for Costa Farms is I wish their self-watering planters for $15.98 would be more of a smooth matte texture versus having it textured. And you can see here, this one already has a little Sansevieria pup. So with Sansevierias, they actually self-propagate. You'll get a couple of offshoots there that you can separate from the mother plant. Now, to have that gas, that ghost, gray look about Sansevieria Moonshine, you want to give it a little bit more brighter lighting conditions. Sansevieria are marketed as one plant that can really tolerate lower light conditions, but if you give it more bright and direct light, just like most plants, like this potho plant, they will grow better. They will be a little bit more vigorous. They'll have better coloration. So that's just something to keep in mind. When you talk about low light tolerant plants, it doesn't mean that the plant will die, but it definitely wouldn't grow as vigorously or have the best type of variegation or coloration. So you always want to give the best lighting conditions for your plants. Here is another Kokedama bromeliad here. I like that a lot. And that's the thing about Kokedama. You can grow them and hang them up. I think that's another way of being able to grow plants. We talk about this in a lot of my plant shopping videos. How do you display your plants, and what type of plant styling do you have? I do like this one right here. This is a baby bunnies, Triscanthia. What I like about it is, obviously it's a hanging basket. This one is pretty full and lush. I like the purple undersides on the leaves, but also just the green leaves at the top. So you can, view it from the top as like a green plant, but then when you look up, or if you look from the bottom view, it's got that subtle purple undertone. So I like the layering in colors of that particular one. And then we have another bromeliad, Kokedama, right here. Nice red color. I love red blooms as well, and that's a nice looking Kokedama. This one is a staghorn fern for $6.98 by Better Grow. I like that too, and I've been wanting to grow staghorn ferns and actually mount them up on a wooden plank, and then just put them on one of my walls. I think that would be nice. I'm gonna ask my brother-in-law to actually make one that has like a Monstera leaf shape. I think that would be really nice. And I'm going to pan away over here. So it's nice to see that this Lowe stays consistent with its plant. It's one of those Lowes, especially if you are a local plant foldie and you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, to check this particular Lowe's out. And look at that. This is another plant find, another Epipremnum aureum Manjula pothos. So while this isn't, quote, a rare pothos, it is one of those pothos that's a little bit more uncommon. You don't see it as often, but I wish it would be more of a common plant, because look at the variegation on it. I love Manjula pothos because it's highly variegated. The variegation is a little bit more different, and it's got a wider leaf shape for a pothos plant. It's got more of a rounder leaf shape, and if you grow this Manjula on a totem pole, a moss pole, or a plank and let it grow up, the leaves are insane. They get very large. In the Philippines, they call them jumbo Manjula plants, and they are a sight to be seen because they're highly variegated. And it looks like here's another Manjula plant or pothos plant right here. This one is for $16.98. I am tempted to buy another Manjula plant just because you can never have enough of them. The only drawback about a Manjula pothos is they are a little bit slower growing, and I think it's because they are highly variegated, but when they do grow, they are absolutely stunning. Plant Folies, let me know what you think of this particular, pothos. Would you buy it? Do you grow it? As well as this calathea right here, this Calathea burley marksii, or the fishbone calathea. This is one that I saw at Home Depot that they had a bunch of them on sale for like $29.98. This is a gorgeous looking calathea. It's another calathea I might even buy as well and transition to hydroponics. You know, when you go plant shopping, there's so many plants, so many products that you can use as far as like fertilizers, soils. It's just so awesome to just use this plant shopping as like plant therapy. Like look right over here. This is another Epipremnum aureum Snow Queen pothos. Now Snow Queen pothos next to a Manjula. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It makes you want to just collect all the pothos and just grow them on hanging baskets. I mean, I would definitely do that. I don't always have the best like growing conditions for plants that require a lot of bright lighting conditions. I kind of reserve that for some of my more light needed plants like my monsteras, my Ficus elasticas, my highly variegated Monstera Thai constellations. Those are the plants that I kind of reserve my lighting, my natural lighting anyway, for those plants. And you can see right over here we've got a red ant Fittonia. This one is another Palea plant I like. This is a Pan Am Palea. Mine is doing extremely well. I bought mine at HEB, which is a grocery store out in Texas, for $3.98. So it's a little bit more cost effective than this one. This one's for $5.98 at Lowe's. So if you want to collect these exotic angel plants, they have several of them. And I've noticed that this Lowe's has gotten a restock. And you can see here, this is a snow white waffle plant. Mine didn't do very well. It's not as pink anymore. Its leaves have crisped up. So I think it's one of those plants that does require a lot of humidity as well as staying moist. And again, you know, for me, who has a very busy schedule, I have a very demanding job. It's one of those things where sometimes I don't get to water my plants on a frequent watering schedule. And so some of my plants suffer from that. And that's the thing about it. You know, we're looking at all of these plants, like these lemon button ferns. Beautiful plant. It would be one that I would add. This one is for $5.98. I would add it to my collection, but I've added so many plants to my collection that, you know, it gets a little bit overwhelming. So for those that are watching my video, leave in the comments or even in the live premiere chats what you guys think about like oversaturating your plant collection. Does it become overwhelming? Does it feel like it's not a hobby anymore? Does it become more of a chore? That's the balance about growing plants indoors or even outdoors. You know, having that time to maintain your plants and, you know, admire them. That's the thing. And even when I'm doing YouTube, I just realized that I'm like, I love to, you know, interact with everybody, but, you know, sometimes you just need time for yourself. So I was really happy that I took some time off for the weekend to really recharge and rest. I did work over the weekend, but, you know, the added pressure of actually creating a YouTube video to premiere, it did take a little bit of a workload off of me. So I'm thankful about that, but I'm glad that you guys are back on, and I'm glad that I'm back on making these plant videos. You can see here, this is a pink angel Fittonia. This one's for $7.98. I love the look of Fittonias. There are some new Fittonia hybrids. I think they would make very good, I would say, terrarium plants. I have a lamp that I want to transition into a terrarium, and you can see here, now this one is the Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. Look at those roots popping out of this one. This one's ready to be repotted, but look at that. This one has lesser variegation than a snow queen pothos. Now with marble queen pothos, you do need to give it a little bit more bright indirect light, otherwise it will become more green and revert. So that's one of those pothos that doesn't have the most stable variegation, so just make sure that you are giving it that lighting condition. This one is such an easy plant to take care of. This is a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta. It does get large. For new plant parents or those that are going to grow plants indoors, I would recommend this as one of your first plants to take care of. And then right over here, we've got another Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. This one isn't as variegated, right next to a teddy bear vine by Costa Farm. So I'm going to pan over here and show you some more plants. got this Galaxy False Aurelia already, and mine is doing very well. It's not as fast of a grow, but that's for $5.98. All of the plants I'm going to pull up are all for $5.98 by Costa Farms. This one is a black rabbit's foot fern. It's one of the most common ferns that I see at big box stores. Needless to say, it is a beautiful fern. I do like the fuzzy aerial roots that it does produce. And then here you guys go, your favorite Hydra Helix, or what you would call a Hedera Helix. English ivy is what the actual name would be. And this one is the starling. Love the serrated leaves. Very, very narrow leaves right here. This Hedera Helix is awesome. I love Hydra Helix. It's one of those plants that I have a love and hate relationship. I have more love though for the English ivy. Both of the ones that I have so far, for some reason, have still survived and have been growing for me fairly well. No spider mites. It's pushing out new growth. I wish this plant right here, though, this snow white waffle plant, would have done very well for me because I love the pink and purple and lavender and cream variegation it has. This one is for $5.98. And then we have a Schefflera plant here, or umbrella plant. This one is for $5.98 as well. This one has a little bit more subtle variegation. Its growth pattern is a little bit smaller in its foliage. And then here we've got another Hydra Helix, or our Hedera Helix English ivy. I know for those that are literally watching my video for the first time, I hope I'm not scaring you by the way I pronounce that. It's just that my subscribers and viewers like it for some reason, and so I'm gonna stick with it. I was actually saying it the wrong way by saying Hydra Helix. It's actually Hedera Helix. So I'm thankful for the plant foldy that corrected me on that, but for some reason, Hydra Helix kind of sticks around. So you'll have to bear with me. And then you can see I did pull up some crotons. We've got the Sunny Star Croton and the Gold Dust Croton. Both of them are common crotons. And you know, crotons are one of those plants that are better grown outdoors. Like this is a Croton Petra. Their variegation or their coloration is really more influenced by the amount of light you give it. The more direct sunlight you give it, the better off it's going to be. The more reds, the more coloration you're just going to get. And so I have a Croton Magnificent that is growing outdoors. I ended up buying it at Home Depot for a very good price, and I'm just waiting for it to size up. It is on my front patio lawn area. It's gotten direct sunlight for at least 8 hours, and it's doing very well. No leaves have been burning and whatnot. And you can see right here, lots of anthuriums and different types of plants available at this Lowe. So I panned over a bunch of hanging baskets. These are the smaller ones by Costa Farms. These are for $16.98. And I love my philodendron heteracea lemon lime. Look at that lime yellow, green yellow color, whatever color you want to describe it. But what I like about this is this heteracea lemon lime can tolerate lower light conditions. The only drawback is if you do put it in an area that doesn't get as much light, the leaves won't be as yellow. They'll become more of like a yellow green color. I have mine actually staying on my mantle in my chimney, and it is doing very well. So I really like that a lot. You know, philodendron heteracea lemon lime is a classic and easy to care for plant, as well as the Scindapsus silver satin. I like Scindapsus. I currently don't have any. You know, I've realized that Scindapsus, they are similar to pothos, but they are a little bit more of a thirsty plant, and it's one of those plants that it will let you know when it's thirsty, but I also don't really have the time to take care of Scindapsus silver satin, or just a Scindapsus as well. You know, I already have so many plants, but for this one, that is for $16.98. And then we have a bunch of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos right here. And here we have an Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic blue pothos. This one's still in one of those older trending tropicals planters by Costa Farms. I do like this Epipremnum pinnatum, and what I like about it is this one doesn't even need to grow on a totem or a moss pole or a plank to fenestrate. And for those that don't know what fenestrating means, it means that the leaves will start to split. This one can actually trail or hang, put in a hanging basket, and you'll still get those split leaves. So I think those are really cool, and I love this plant. This is a Thenanthe plant, so it's part of the prayer Marantha Calathea type family, and you can see that green on green variegation is gorgeous. This one is for $22.98 by Live Trends. It's in one of those mat planters, which I like, and I do like this plant. It is one of those plants that really requires some more humidity. It is an easy to care for plant if you can give it the right growing conditions. So higher humidity, and it likes to stay moist. You don't really want to let the leaves dry out completely, otherwise the leaves will start to crisp up. It's a little bit easier to take care of as compared to a Calathea. So just FYI on that. And then we've got some more pothos plants here. We've got some Pachira aquaticas or money tree plants here, bromeliads, lots and lots of plants that you can see at this Lowe's. And I like shopping at this Lowe's again just because there are a lot of plants to choose from. It looks like Costa Farms has pushed out a lot of larger form Pachira aquatica or money tree plants that are braided. I used to have them. The only thing about Pachira aquatica is it can be a little bit spider mite prone, so you definitely want to make sure that you keep inspecting it. And that's part of the plant care routines, is making sure that you're checking your plant's leaves, undersides of the leaves, seeing if there's some off coloration, just to see if there's pests. And right here, these are some dendrobium orchids. I haven't ever seen this one. Look at the look of this dendrobium orchid. This one is in a crate, a hanging crate for $38.98. I like that a lot. I love me some dendrobium orchids. I really think that they are a little bit more underrated. I think they should be more readily available than like Phalaenopsis orchids. And we are going to pass by some more large plants right over here. These are the Bird of Paradise plants. These are large plants. These require a lot of bright light in order to really thrive. So if you don't have those lighting conditions, I wouldn't really recommend that. And then these are some violet, flame violets right over here. These are similar to Palea plants, and these ones are for $5.98. And here we are approaching some Hedera Helix. This one is a wonderful Hedera Helix or English Ivy for $5.98. I like that the leaves are a little bit rounder and it's got a little bit more texture, like some ruffling on the actual leaves, and in the variegation, having that variegation more on the edges is really nice. That's another English Ivy I would add to my collection. I currently have 2. I've killed 12 so far in the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So lucky number 13, which is a gold baby English Ivy, and lucky number 14, my Bettina English Ivy, have been doing well. So maybe my wonderful English Ivy that I eventually will get in the future might actually thrive for me again with English Ivies. What I do is I spray them with a preventative neem oil DIY spray that I put on once a week and make sure that they are right next to a humidifier and they haven't gotten any spider mites and have done well. And then here is another Hedera Helix. This one is a Pixie Hedera Helix English Ivy for $5.98. I always crack myself up when I say that. You know, the correct way to say English Ivy is the Hedera Helix, but this one has a little bit smaller foliage. So plant foldies, let me know if you like that Hedera Helix. Okay, I'll stop. This one is a bronze fern, bronze Venus fern for $5.98 as well. It kind of looks like a maidenhair fern, but they call this the bronze Venus fern. So lots of exotic angel plants, and that's the thing about going to big box stores. They are constantly bringing in new plants, especially in the springtime. So for those that are not out in Texas, especially in the North Dallas area, leave in the comments what plants you're seeing in your big box stores. I'm hoping that for those in colder states and those out in Canada, that you guys are getting some more restocks. Right here is another Hydra Helix. This one is Mini Adam Ivy. This is another one that I see often at big box stores. It's one of those ivies that has been telling me to take them home. There's actually a couple of English ivy that I should be taking home. There was this one Lowe's I went and did a plant shopping video where there was like 14 varieties. So there are many different types that you could add, but with English ivy, they're a little bit more challenging to just take in the home. You're actually asking to bring spider mites in, so it is a bit of a risk. And right over here, we got a pink illusion syngonium. Like syngoniums, they're very easy to take care of plants as well. It's one that I would recommend for any ones that are just starting out a plant collection. And this is a Dracaena Limelight. Love this Dracaena. This Dracaena can actually get very large. This one's for $7.98, and it's one that can tolerate lower light conditions. So you can put this in a dark space in your home and light it up with that neon color. One of my favorite Dracaenas, and I do like Dracaenas. I only have one so far. It's a Dracaena Hurricane, but I do intend to add more to my collection just because they're easy. And we're going to go ahead and step outside in the outdoor section. And it's interesting that they have a lot of these larger indoor tropical plants in the outdoor section. So we got some Dracaenas right over here, some Dieffenbachias here, and we can also see that there are some yucca plants. And look at these large Monstera deliciosas. I love the fenestrations of Monstera deliciosas. Even the heart-shaped leaf is gorgeous. These are by Costa Farms. I believe these are for $35. And the thing about it is you want to be a little bit more selective with some of your Monstera deliciosas. You'll get them for a good price, but you want to see if you can get one that has some really wide leaves that are not unfurling, undamaged. What I'm finding at big box stores is you've got some gorgeous leaves that have already matured and hardened, but the new leaves have like some damage as they're unfurling. So I'm not sure if it's some type of pest, but these ones look to be very healthy. Monstera deliciosas can get very large, so just make sure you plan for the space. And it is one that is easy to take care of. You just need to give it a lot of bright indirect light. So I'm just going to pan over here and walk around and show you some more of the other plants. It looks like they've got some hostage plants here. These are plants that need to get out of these boxes and get out to the floor so they can have a chance of getting picked up by plant enthusiasts like me. These are live transplant, like this one is saying, free me, free me. That's probably a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. I hope that they get these urban jungle plants as well as these live trend plants. They are always stylish and gorgeous, and you never know, there might be like a rare type of Alocasia or some other uncommon plant available. And here we've got some tree form Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaves. I have grown to like mine because it actually prefers to be more neglected in terms of just, you don't have to really water it. You just have to stay consistent with your watering schedule and give it bright light. And I'm just going to pan over here. There's just a bunch of assorted succulents and cacti. I am trying to diversify my plant content, so stay with me. I've got lots of other plants to show you, some more indoor plants, but I do want to show you this Aeonium. This one is a little bit more damaged, but I love Aeoniums, and those are plants that I'm going to add to my collection. I'm going to actually buy one from Etsy called an Aeonium Pink Witch. You definitely have to check that out. And you can see here we've got some more plants. We've got some Crusala or jade plants. And to my very loyal plant foldie from Canada, Kathy, I know you asked for more jade plants, so I'm going to show you some more. Whenever I see more jade plants, I will definitely get them on fill. But jade plants remind me of my childhood just because my grandmother and my mother used to grow them, and they were very, very easy to grow. But you can see lots of assorted plants here, and then more Crusala or jade plants here. So I'm just going to walk around and show you what other assorted succulents and cacti we have available. And as you can see, succulents and cactus come in all sorts of shapes, colors, sizes, and pricing. I like that a lot. And then we also see a bunch of these palms right over here. Again, with palms, you need to give it a lot of bright and direct light for it to really thrive. And then we've got some aloe vera plants, and we've got some more succulents right over here. I do like the different colors. And then these aloe vera plants are really nice as well. This one has some more spiky texture to it, and we got smoother textures. But as you can see, this Lowe's is very much so in stock. These ones are by Oasis, and you can see right here, this is a nice little echeveria. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about succulents. We'll see if I get bitten by the succulent bug. I know that once you start with one succulent, you want to get more succulents. And then this one right over here is another aloe vera plant. This one's interesting. Oops, I kind of peeled it, so let me just go ahead and stick it back in its soil. But that is a nice variegated aloe vera plant right there. This is a really full Lowe's, and I am living for it. And you got some kalanchoe right over there, some more crusala or jade plants, a nice barrel cactus, and just more echeverias and different types of succulents. I am loving it. It would really make a nice succulent arrangement for sure. And right over here, we are looking at some Asiatic lilies. I do love some Asiatic lilies, and this is my first time really seeing the different types of colors of Asiatic lilies. You know, I've seen them a lot at Walmart and other big box stores, but not in full bloom like this. So you're seeing some pinks, some oranges, some reds, some yellows, and apparently this is a perennial. So meaning that if you put this in the ground, full sun, it will consistently grow back year after year. And I like that. I have been introducing some more perennials into my backyard garden. I pretty much planted a bunch of lantanas, for instance, some columbine flowering plants. So we're going to see if they will come back next year. Now, these are unfortunately not perennials. These are some petunia plants. I will tell you, these are the flower of the hour. Everybody is seeing petunias, but you can see all of these gorgeous blooms right here. I do like that the Asiatic lily actually grows very compact with its like leaves, and I love how these blooms are absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to pan over here and show you all the different colors. Definitely got my fix of all of those Asiatic lilies, as well as this gorgeous hanging baskets of petunias. I will be showing you guys a couple more other plants. Now, these are some more begonias here. This one is an interesting begonia. This one for $7.98. So this is another one that you can grow perhaps in the landscape, in shade, but also in a planter. I'm curious to see if you can grow these long-term indoors. You know, when you think about begonias, you think about like Rex begonias, Riger begonias, wax begonias. There's so many different begonias, but what I am realizing as I am doing this plant blogging and plant shopping, there are so many begonias that have very profuse bloomers. Like, look at that orange bloom right there. I really like that a lot, and that's something that I didn't really realize as far as begonias, that begonias are also grown for their flowers. So I think that's awesome. and it's one that I will definitely, you know, explore and look at. And then right here, these are impatiens flowers. These flowers are needing some water. It looks like they are a little bit more dehydrated. Impatient flowers are flowers that definitely need to be grown in shade. And then obviously this is my obsession, my plant obsession of the hour. These are coleus plants. I was able to find these at another Lowe's, and right now you can get these ones, these pints, for $5 for $1. So these are literally $1 each instead of $1.98. I like the orange look about it. If I find some more coleus plants at a really good you know, coloration, I may buy more coleus plants. There are a lot of coleus plants I actually need to repot in planters. I am trying to be like my grandmother, who was able to, you know, take a coleus plant in a starter plant like this, grow it into a mother plant one season, and just cut and propagate. And she had a whole back patio full of them. And then here is a classic marigold plant here. My marigolds have actually sprouted after a week, and I got that white Eskimo marigolds. I plan on making marigold tea just because they are higher in beta carotene. So I'm all about that. I love tea, by the way. So if anybody has any good recommendations, I love loose leaf Japanese tea. Super excited about that. And I love this Proven Winners container setup right here. So we've got some potato vines, some what else do we have? We've got some type of coleus that is actually trailing, a let's see, a cordyline plant. And I do like the color combination, the purples and the dark chocolate look in terms of the actually the contrast of the green coleus is really nice. I want that coleus as well. Any coleus plant that is different, I am going to be hoarding and collecting. So we're going to see what I will find throughout the season. And then over here, we've got some more plants. Now, this is a plant that I am considering growing as like a container plant. Something about it, just that green on green variegation. And this one is for $4.98. Look at the roots. It's already bursting out of it. And this one can take full sun. So I like that a lot. So you can make some container setups. This one would be another plant that if I were to grow indoors, it would definitely have to grow in a grow light for at least 8 hours. But there's different varieties of that. I can't, for some reason, pronounce the plant ID. So I'm just going to leave that in the subtitles. But look at how lush and full all of these plants are. And I am almost tempted to grow this potato vine, like just grab this variegated potato vine just because I love the pink and purple and cream variegation. It also has a nice leaf shape. It reminds me of a very serrated maple or Japanese maple. It might be one that I might grow. I mean, these potato vines are so easy to grow. They will definitely take over your yard if you put them in the ground. So just be mindful of that. It needs to be in a contained flower bed if you're going to grow it. But these potato vines are not only gorgeous, fast growing, take full sun, they can also be edible. Their leaves are actually edible as well. So nice looking one all over the North Dallas area. You will see that. And I'm just going to pan over here. And you can see this is a hanging basket full of lantana. So I've actually grown a lot of lantana, or actually planted them in my my beds, my flower beds. So we're going to see if they will do well. They can tolerate really hot conditions, drought conditions, and they are mounding. So they will get those nice bowl-shaped forms, and we're going to see. But there's a bunch of hanging baskets of lantana. That is a common flowering plant that is grown. It's a perennial out in North Dallas. And then here is another plant. Fine, boom. This is a rodeo oyster plant. I think that's what it's called. What I love about it is it's got that pink variegation. This one's for $4.98. I love pink plants in the purple undersides. Obviously, this is basically a Tradescanthia, but it's not one that trails. I really like that a lot, so I will be buying this. So it looks like they were marketing this as like a plant you can grow outside, but I am going to be growing this indoors. I often see this actually at Trader Joe's. Yeah, Trader Joe's being sold, but this one is the one I will pick up and then eventually put in a nice planter. I'm just looking at that. I'm so happy I found this one. I know that it doesn't seem like a rare plant, but you know, some plants really just speak to you. They just want to pick, you know, have you pick them up and take them home. And I love this one. This will go right next to my variegated boat lily. And I'm going to pan away and show you how full this Lowe's is, even on the outdoor section. Over here we have another gorgeous looking planter full of coleus, some impatiens, and I think some other plant. I'm not 100% sure if it's a banana plant or some type of plant, but look at these fiery blooms. I do like the combination as well. So if you're into those, you know, planters, that's nice. And then I love this lantana. I actually have this color as well. This is a hanging basket of lantana. Look at that. Look at that red. I might actually buy a lantana this size at Lowe's and just plant it in the ground, but look at that lantana. They make really good ground cover, and again, they are very profuse bloomers, and they don't need a lot of water and can tolerate very hot conditions. So this is a plant that would do very well for me. Look at these petunias as well. Again, there's so many different types of petunias, as well as different types of begonias and petunias. Lots of plants right here. They've got racks and racks of plants. I do like this combination planter of the lavender and, you know, pastel yellow colors. I love that canary yellow. Very bright petunias. I am going to buy a hanging basket of petunia, most likely at Callaway's Nursery, which is a local plant nursery there. But, you know, with these 1 hour plant shopping videos, it kind of gives me room to be able to just talk and blog about my personal plant collection and my daily life in general. So I hope you guys are getting to know me. Ask me any questions on the live premiere chats. I will love to answer them, as well as, you know, comments that you leave. I really do encourage people to leave comments in my comment section for my videos. And you can see here, there are some more lantanas. Love lantanas, and they're very easy to grow plants, and these are in the smaller pint-sized ones. Look at that bloom right there. It looks like it's going to have some peach yellow blooms. We've got some yellow lantanas, so I am excited to see how my lantana grow. I bought them actually out at Callaway's for like $2.99. They were a little bit more pricey, but there is a guarantee when you go buy them at Callaway's. But I do like the white lantanas as well. Lantanas in general do very well. I can't tell you how easy they will grow, and this one is actually in another Proven Winners a planter container, you know, combination container, so I like that a lot. That one is actually gotten a very good combination of plants. And look at these. So these are more planters that have, you know, ready to go petunias. These petunias are so beautiful. Look at that. They're a little bit smaller in the bloom size, and it's just exciting to see that petunias. I've never paid attention to them, but it seems like year after year more hybrids of petunias are happening. So I'm just going to pan over here, and then we've got some dahlias. I'm actually tempted to buy a couple of dahlias and plant them in the ground, see if they will grow, since they are perennials. I found a gorgeous looking one at H-E-B that I'm going to come back to for $12.99, but these ones are not bad at all as well. So dahlias are grown from either tubers or seeds. I heard that tubers are better, but look at that. Look at this dahlia right here. It's got a nice magenta tone. These ones are by Monrover for $6.98, and it's a beautiful one. I really like that a lot. It's one that I will most likely plant in my landscape. I'm going to start growing a little bit more on my outdoor garden as well, and this is a nice looking succulent plant. This one is got this gray, ghostly, frosty look about it by Monrova. Really nice looking plant. This one is going to definitely need a lot of light. And what other plants do we have available here? So we've got a bunch of assorted petunias. I'm just going to pan over. this is an absolutely precious looking petunia. I love how it's got miniature look about it, and then just the striping is amazing. And then we got some more combination planters here. I am going to take a little bit more time to show you these hostas. So hostas, I am almost tempted to buy these Monrovia hostas because I love the variegation. The green on green variegation is stunning. I almost want to plant a couple of hostas out in my outdoor section in the shade, just because I've seen my mother-in-law actually grow hostas in her yard, and they were able to grow outdoors and repeat itself and actually grow back, because these are perennials. But this one is a particular one I would want to buy because look at that variegation. Isn't that stunning by Monrovia? Now, for those that have grown hostas, have you been able to successfully grow them indoors? Like, have you been able to take them inside and just overwinter them? I love the texture of the leaves. They remind me of tropical like Aroids, but I do like that a lot. They actually remind me of Aglaonema in a weird sort of way, but all of these green on green variegations is lovely. Like this one right over here is a different type of hosta. This one has a little bit more rounder leaves, so I am all about it. Now, hostas do need to be in shade, so I'm thinking if it is in shade, you could probably take this indoors and grow them. But again, I am curious if anybody's grown hostas. I also like the stem and texture of it. Monrovia, I would actually pay a little bit more for the Monrovia hostas because they're nice. You know, they're lush, full, and I love the coloration here. But you can see there's different types of hostas. So I'm just going to pan around and show you all of the different types that they have. And then they have Kalia lilies right over there as well. All of these plants are perennial. So if you are to grow them in the ground, they will die off in the winter but grow back in the spring. This is only for $7.98. That's not bad at all, especially if you're looking for a green on green variegated plant. Look at this. I am just pulling these up and they are nice and healthy. I don't know a lot about hostas, but what I do know is I am a fan of the texture of the leaves. There is a little bit more crumpling on the leaves. I love the round textures of the leaves, the points of the leaves. And you can see this one actually has albo variegation, more cream variegation right over here. So it's nice to see that there are a lot of different types of hostas. I think hostas are a good complementary plant for, you know, say a Japanese garden, which is what I'm attempting to grow. So lots of these available at this Lowe's. I'm glad that they got a full restock, and it's just early. It's only the first week of April, so you can see that there are a lot. Look at this one. This is starting to really multiply. So I don't know if hostas will push out new babies and just kind of spread. But I'm going to go ahead and just pull up a lot of these different types. Let me know in the comments or in the live premiere chats what you think of hostas. If you've grown them, if you've grown them indoors, would you recommend them to grow indoors? I've got so many questions. So I'm hoping that you guys will come out on the live premiere chat or in the comment section and leave some comments for me to respond to. These hostas right here are for 2 for $12, so $6 each. These are originally $7.48. Now these are not by Monrovia. These are the local Lowe's versions. I like that a lot too. This one has a little bit more of a subtle gray tone to it, and then we just got some green hostas right over here, which aren't bad as well. These are also for $7.48. So if you want to get some hosta plants, I would definitely go to this Lowe's because they've got a full table, trays and trays of them, as well as racks of them. and these are not a bad price at all. These ones are on sale, you know, 2 for $12, so that's not a bad price. And you can get a large one like this. Hasa, look at that. Look at that green texture of it. I actually love looking at hostas. They are bringing me a lot of joy. For some reason, they remind me of like an outdoor aglonema or something. I don't know. And this one right over here is a hosta guacamole, 1998. This one is a larger one, and you can see that it's got some yellow variegation to it. It's got a nice shine to it. It's a really nice looking hosta. And you can see right here, I panned over to a lot of different plants, but one area I want to take a little bit of time is to show you the Acer palmatum, or Japanese maple. So if you love Japanese maples as much as I do, I always look at this, and they've got a really good selection of Japanese maples. Now with Japanese maples, they definitely need to be more in, you know, protection from the afternoon sun. So in some shade after like 2 o'clock, especially if you're in a hot climate like Texas. And you can see here, they've got the traditional Acer palmatum bloodgood. They've got some crimson queens right here, those lace leaf Japanese maples. These are for $48.98 in gallon size containers, and they've got some larger Japanese maples. Now this one is a Emperor 1, or a Red Emperor. I had one, and for some reason it was growing out for like, it's been outside for like 2 years. It got this large actually, and this year it did not come back from the spring, so I don't know what killed it. I really like this one because it's very heat tolerant. And then right here is a Sangukaku, or a coral bark Japanese maple. What I like about it is it has like red stems in the winter when all of the leaves have fallen off and it's gone to, you know, hibernation. And then we've got some more Japanese maples right here. These are actually really large size Japanese maple. This is a Tamakuyama Japanese maple. This one is a cascading lace leaf type of Japanese maple, and they've got larger Japanese maples right over here. It makes me want to just buy a Japanese maple this size, because Japanese maples take a while to grow. They are very slow growing trees, but you know, they are very elegant, very gorgeous, very diverse trees. So there are a lot of people who are into Japanese maples. There's a whole community of it internationally. I am one of them, and I also collect Japanese maples and maples in general, just as much as indoor houseplants. So again, I love plants, and this is very interesting. I've never seen a Acer palmatum ukigumo this size only for $290. Like, I'm thinking I need to buy this, but I don't know if I can actually put this in the ground because it's so large. Like, it would take at least 5 to 10 years to get it this size. And what's interesting about ukigumo is, now maybe not in Texas, but when it leaves out, it can be completely white. It's one of those Japanese maples that you want it to leaf out a little bit slower so you can get that variegation. But you can see that it has some shades of white. It is not completely white, which is you know, understandable because it is in Texas. But you know, in other climates, they are completely white. The ukigumo, I'm thinking I need to go back here. So I'm going to have to just consider what my finances look like and where I can put it. But I am surprised. So that would be considered a rare plant find for a Japanese maple at a big box store. So I'm going to go back inside and just take a look at what other plants that they have left in these indoor you know, a section. I always think that I might run into something a little bit more rare or, you know, uncommon, but I do want to pan over here and show you guys all of these gorgeous looking Phalaenopsis orchids. You know, they are one that we can just look at because I like the different colors and shapes, sizes, all of that for a Phalaenopsis orchid. And you can see we've got a begonia maculata right here. Love that. We've got some more begonia maculatas and more plants over here. I'm going to walk past here and look at that gorgeous looking Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf. The leaves are large. I love that a lot, and it's also shiny. And we've got some Dieffenbachias right over here. You know, this Dieffenbachia we're looking at is that Dieffenbachia sublime. And then we've got some more hanging baskets. I see a Hydra helix hanging over there as well as like staghorn ferns. And then right over here, this is a nice looking variegated pothos. This one is an Epipremnum aureum pearls and jade. So this is often a plant that people mistaken as like an enjoy, or vice versa. People will label this as a enjoy pothos or an enjoy pothos. There is some confusion, but you can see this has a little bit more speckling and the variegation isn't as like highly contrast. So that's how you can check that. And then I'm going to walk over here. They have some more like overflow, but whoa, now here is a rare plant find. I'm super excited. Look at this. This is a Monstera Siltepecana, or what Costa Farms calls as a silver Monstera. Look at that. I haven't seen a hanging basket full of that. And this one's for 2028. So I'm definitely going to buy this today. So there goes my plant budget. I mean, like I said, you know, you have these plants that if you find it, you'll get it. This is one that I would definitely buy. Now, this is a plant that does better growing up a totem pole. You can see that it's trailing. So these trailing ones are, the leaves are a little bit smaller, but I love this. I have one that was from a propagation that's growing, but this is a vigorous grower. So I am going to get it, and I'm probably going to cut back this Monstera Siltepecana and actually propagate it in water. But look at that. Look at that veining, that silvery look about it. It's a fairly healthy looking plant, and it's one that I'm not even going to question whether I'm going to buy it or not. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Now, this Monstera does need a lot of bright indirect light, alongside with a lot of Monsteras. This one particularly will do better if you grow it up a totem pole or moss pole. For now, I'm going to let it just grow on a hanging basket so I can get some trailing nodes so I can cut it up. But yeah, I went ahead and purchased it. Wow, I am super excited. Like, I know that I just got super excited when I found it, but seriously, it was one I didn't find. And then this is another plant that I bought right here. This is that Rodeo oyster plant. I love that pink variegation. And I'm going to pan over here and just show you what other plants that they have outside before I head off and go home. You can see lots of full sun perennials, annuals right here, some petunias. That is my flower of the hour. And we're just going to pan over and show you what else they got here. And you can see they've got a bunch of vegetables and herbs and a bunch of citrus plants right here. I always like to look over here and see what kind of citrus plants they have. If they have a calamansi or calmodium plant, which is like the Philippine lime, I would definitely buy. But this is my first time ever seeing papaya trees actually available. That is a tropical plant, and it wouldn't be one that you could grow in the ground in Texas, just because we do get really large, like really cold frost. But you can see there's a bunch of tomatoes here. I love homegrown tomatoes. Tomatoes are something that I would actually grow. And then we've got some blackberries right over here. These are in full bloom. But anyways, plant foldies, I really hope you guys have enjoyed my plant shopping video here. I know I was gone for the weekend, but don't worry, I am back this week. I am still fairly busy, but I'm going to try my best to do that. But for those that have missed me, I am glad I was able to come back. And hopefully you will actually hashtag team replay some of my older videos if I don't produce a live premiere. Again, life is a little bit hectic, but I do enjoy these plant shopping videos. I love showing you guys plants, plant pricing, plant care, and just really growing our community. So if you haven't hit this like button and you made it this far, please smash that like button for me. Also subscribe with the notification bell on. So in case I put a live premiere chat that's not at 7, you'll still get the notification immediately. This is Richie at Grow Folds. I'll see you later. Bye.